and privileged to see her here today in our symposium. I know that she's done a lot of trainings for our district, and I know that she did our Telfas Academies last year, and she helped us with that because our ratings, our progress was higher, and so we saw the benefits of those sessions. And at this symposium, she's offering sessions for teachers, sessions for parents, and she's going to be addressing us this morning as well. So let me just introduce Dr. Edith Trevino, also known as Dr. ET. She's a dynamic presenter, self-taught ed tech, storyteller, author, advocate of language and students, wife, mother, friend, and passionate educator who lives and teaches in La Frontera. Dr. ET is an immigrant from Coahuila, Mexico, and proudly served in the United States Army Reserves. ET holds a doctorate in curriculum and instruction with an emphasis on bilingual studies from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, a Master of Education degrees from Sul Ross State University, and a Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education from Edinburgh University in Pennsylvania. Dr. ET is author to several books. Her latest, Teaching in the Time of COVID, a social emotional toolkit for teachers, has made the top 100 books for Amazon under crisis management and education. Dr. E.T.'s passion and research is grounded on border life at La Frontera, trauma, displacement, culture, and historical trauma, and how those lived experiences intertwine and impact education. Please help me welcome Dr. E.T. Trevino. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And if we were in person, I would make everybody clap. So can we just clap? Yay! Okay, I'm super, super excited to be here. I am going to share my screen. I'm going to be going back and forth because I'm very visual. And so I love to show pictures. And thank you again, Dr. Quesada, for this great opportunity. And I'm going to share something about San Benito that I'm very proud of. And so thank you again, San Benito CISD, for allowing me to be here. Thank you to Miss Cindy, who is allowing people to come in as we have this session, because I can hear the bell going off. So that means there's people in the waiting room and they're coming in. So thank you, Miss Cindy, for letting them in. I'm going to start off real quick with just a very short, what's the word that I'm looking for? A couple of seconds of silence, right? A moment of silence as we're looking at March 2020 when our lives were changed, right? And maybe in March 2020, the only person that we knew that had COVID was Tom Hanks, the famous actor, right? And now, if we stop and think, and I want, if we stop and think, all of us know somebody that has passed away from COVID. We all know somebody who has lost their job or their home, or we know all the tough and difficult things that are happening. And even though, we have keynotes and we have sessions, we still cannot ignore what is going on, because when we go through trauma, life goes on, right? And the sun comes up in the morning and we have to keep going. And sometimes we even feel guilty that, okay, I have to keep going, but for somebody else, their life has stopped, right? And so I respect that with all my heart. And so right now we're just honoring all the friends and family, people that you knew, right? Or someone someone that knows someone. And so I just want to start with that to honor them. Another thing that I want to share with you is that once a greyhound, always a greyhound. And this is a picture of me when my family went through this horrible trauma many years ago. We moved to the Valley and I applied at every district you can imagine. Name the district, I applied to it, right? And I had such a hard time finding a teaching job. And guess who gave me the first opportunity here in the Rio Grande Valley? It was San Benito. I will never, ever forget it. And even though now my husband, left San Benito and he started coaching in other places, I would always say, once a greyhound, always a greyhound. And he would say, stop it, we're not in San Benito anymore. And I would say, I'm sorry, once a greyhound. I mean, that was embedded into my brain. So this is a picture of us. Our daughter went to school there in San Benito, and you know, I worked there for 2 years. And here is me with the mascot. As you can see, it's a little blurry, but I loved San Benito, and I made so many friends there. And I appreciate you guys forever and ever. And every time I go to San Benito, that's the first thing I say. You were the first district that believed in me when I moved here, you know, and gave me an opportunity. And for that, I'm always grateful. And for that, we are always family. Now, this is us here now. This is our family. Everybody's grown up, right? Some of us have gained weight and gotten older, right? Now, if you see those 2 arrows, those arrows are pointing to the 2 kids that I still have in school right now. I have an 8-year-old and I have a 15 or 16-year-old. Once you have 5 kids, you kind of forget their age, right? Okay, and so he's a junior and she is a 3rd grader. And I'm bringing this up to you because this whole keynote is about social emotional well-being, right? For teachers. Many of you are teachers and also parents or caregivers. My mother lives with us. She's 82 years old. The other day, I'm not kidding you, I was in the middle of a session and she came up to me, even though I tell them, guys, when I'm in a session, please do not come into the office, do not slam doors, do not, you know, scream at the top of your lungs, but it's like you tell them that you want them to do it, right? So she comes in and she tells me in Spanish, o me llevas al HEB ahorita o agarro un taxi, you know, or you take me to the HEB right now or I'm going to take a taxi. And I wanted to say, there's no more taxis, they're called Ubers, but I knew at that moment I had to make that happen, right? Because if not, we were going to have and so we think about everything that's going through with us in our minds, everything that we're expressing, everything that we're experiencing as teachers.